Broadcasting live from an Airstream somewhere in Tornado Alley, bringing you the people, places, and stories from the Panhandle to the Red River. This is your Only in Oklahoma show.
And welcome to the show. We're back in black. We hit the sack. It's been so long. We're glad to be back, but we're footloose in a noose full of juice. Now, we got some good news for you. It's the OnlyinOKShow show, and we're back, right?
I'm Brett.
I'm Brett.
And I'm Harley.
So, we're a little rusty, clearly.
Yes, apparently. You act like it's the first time you've seen a microphone.
I was like, where do I put these things? Do they on my ears or my neck? So, we had an opportunity to talk to Dr. Jacob Floyd, who's been on a show before.
No, actually, he has not been on our show. We were on his show.
Oh, yeah, we were on his show.
Yeah, just because we were being recorded doesn't mean that it was our show.
Right, we didn't release it as our show.
Yeah, no.
But he's got a really cool thing that we get to talk about. It's the Human Together Music Fest.
Coming up this Friday.
So, yeah, if you've got the Facebooks and you've got the love of live music, which I don't know if you know this or not, there's not a lot of places that are actually providing live music. There are a few that are kind of trickling in, but not like this. This is an actual music festival. I'm just going to be interested to see how it goes down, how it takes off. So
yeah, I'm all in. I think it sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, but can we go to a park and have somebody play a guitar? Yeah. Yeah. You know, can we go outside again? We can.
Well, again, I'm not.
I don't want this new normal shit
is getting old. I get it, but I still maintain that we have to allow people.
Is this the flat? Are you basically saying flatten the curve without saying flatten the curve?
I'm saying that if you have an issue, if you're concerned about it,
you're being so passive.
I'm not.
I mean,
I'm just saying I think that you need to be responsible for your actions, and at the same time, I think that the economy could definitely use some additional help.
Yes. I don't think, and you said it, and I'm going to steal it from you, you're going to agree with me. I don't think buying from your local restaurant once a week is the answer.
It's definitely not going to keep the economy afloat. I think we need to be looking at it from every aspect.
Mm-hmm.
If you can buy from a local vendor, somebody that made something, from your town that made whatever it is, if you can buy from him, great.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't, if it's something that you can't buy, it's not built here or whatever, buy it from a local distributor. And if you can't buy it from a local distributor, then,
buy it from a
U.S. distributor.
Well, that could almost be misconstrued as being, I don't know. I say it's not racist to say it like that.
It's not racist, but I can see a lot of people having an issue with taking that kind of stand. But I think it's good for our economy, and we need to be focused on our economy. But I also think it's good for the environment. There's less shipping involved, less people touching it, less distribution centers. The closer you can get to it being built in your area.
It's funny you mention it. Okay, so Tara went to a swap meet last weekend in Seminole, and there's a guy that builds handmade furniture. And if you saw it, it's not the fanciest furniture, but if you knew that he was only charging $40 for a handmade bench, you would go, dude, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Right.
So we went and picked one up yesterday, and we're going to order some more stuff from the guy. Like, if buy it, number one, it saves you from having to put it together. And I know you like to put shit together. You like to build stuff. But I can't spend 2 months trying to build a bench.
Well, and I don't have a huge problem with the multi-conglomerate giant businesses.
Yeah, but
I know they're there for they have a purpose.
They're a necessary evil.
But I don't think that it's right now. The only businesses getting business are Home Depot and Walmart.
Oh man, I work at Home Depot. I'll tell you right now. And people say, "Man, is it always this busy?" Yes. You give someone $1,200 and every single day off. There are more people building decks right now than I'd care to even. But at the same time, the flip side of that is I'm lucky to have a job. I know people that don't have one.
Right.
So if you can support that in any way, shape, form, because I promise you, everyone knows someone right now that's worried about a job, is out of work.
Right.
It's affecting everyone at some level.
But, at the same time, there's a lot of good news coming in the state. Tesla has picked Tulsa, Oklahoma
as a runner-up,
one of the finalists in the new assembly plant, which I think is amazing. Whether we win this deal for the state or not, I think it's absolutely amazing that we've come so far that we have a huge auto manufacturer. I mean, not in the volume of cars, but the name.
But historically, we're not historians, but I don't think you have to look far into Wikipedia and the history of Oklahoma to know that while, yes, Oklahoma has been an oil capital. It was part of the oil boom. It's been a part of the bust. We've also been a state built on industry and manufacturing.
Right.
You go down to downtown Oklahoma City, buildings that used to be Ford manufacturers are now loft apartments. I mean, bring some industry back. I'm glad that Amazon has put roots here, and that's great. But manufacturing we are a manufacturing state. That's what we do. That's what we're built on.
I don't disagree, but I think it's great news that we've been chosen for that. I think that really kind of shines a light on some of the improvements that we've made in our state. Yeah. And I'm really proud of the direction that our state is moving. Mm-hmm. I'm concerned right now about the local economy, but there's some light at the end of the tunnel. Not only that, but we have a lot of ingenuity in this state.
We do.
This interview that we've got coming up with Dr. Floyd, I think it's genius.
Yeah, I do too.
What he's doing. And we have a lot of people doing this type of thing, thinking outside of the box and making things work, even though, times have changed, so to speak.
Right. Sadly, I think the state of the union here and everywhere else it's this whole COVID thing. It's so divisive. Here's something with the Human Together Music Fest that can kind of bring us together and kind of draw us in a little bit closer and maybe just take an hour and a half away from doom and gloom and the sky is falling and the economy's falling and people are dying stuff. I don't know. That's kind of that's a very, I don't know, elementary thing to say, but I mean, it's quit. I don't know. Don't dwell. Quit dwelling in the dark.
I think it will just go back to the original sentiment of this particular segment of the show and say, buy some eggs from a local farmer.
Right.
Find it local, buy it local.
But with that in mind, a lot of these bigger producers, meat producers, are shuttering right now.
They're having issues with the supply chain.
Here in Oklahoma, I'm seeing news reports all the time that local beef producers and pork producers are selling it basically it's literally not just farm to table to restaurants now. It's
farm to your refrigerator.
Farm to your refrigerator now. So, and you can take that one of two ways that, we're seeing a shortage, but if the big guys aren't buying their meat, it goes, you know what I mean? It's just help. Help in any way you can.
I agree 100%. And with that, I think we should roll into our interview with Dr. Jason Floyd
right now. Well, the New World Order, everything is virtual reality anymore, and you're seeing a lot more creativity now than you probably ever have. And something that's really cool that's coming up May 22nd is the Human Together Music Fest, sponsored by the Human Together podcast, and the host of that podcast and the founder of this music fest, Jason Floyd. Welcome back to the show.
Well, thank you for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
It's such a weird time right now for festivals, everything's everyone is shuttered for the foreseeable future, and yet you've come up with a new and interesting way to come together. Tell us a little bit about this music fest and how it came to be.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a huge live music fan. I had tickets to several shows that got canceled, as they should have been. And it kind of really left me kind of with this void. I attend live shows regularly. And so I really felt called to action. What was I going to do? I'm not a concert promoter, but I wanted to do something. So I just started by reaching out to artists to gather interest. And it turns out a lot of them were like, yes, thank you. We were just We had no venue. We had no platform. And so it just was it just took off from there. It really was a grassroots effort on getting this out.
And you're no slouch when it comes to festivals. I think a lot of people may or may not know this, but you're a co-founder of the Dead Center Film Festival with your brother, correct?
That's correct. It's been a few minutes ago. In fact, it was 20 years ago. So I drew some from that. But you know what? It really started in the same fashion, kind of grassroots, didn't know really what we were doing. And then it just exploded. So I really kind of have drawn on from those experiences. I've been fortunate back then. We didn't have things like social media. Mm-hmm. I was doing it on slow dial-up internet. So I really felt like I have a little bit more advantages, but some of the tactics are still the same from back then.
So, Doc, how many acts do we have for this music festival? And can you kind of give us some idea of when it's going to be and how we can find out more?
Yes. So we're going to have 9 artists perform May 22nd, 7 p.m. It's going to launch on 2 different sites, on the Human Together Podcast YouTube channel, and then also through Facebook through Human Together Show. And so I am working with Mortimer Creative, and we're going to launch this as a live event. Most of the artists are from Oklahoma. Stephen Selwan is a wonderful artist from Oklahoma that's been around here a long time. Should Have Been Blonde, a band out of Shawnee, Oklahoma, is going all-female band, and they rock. They're going to be really great. Don't Tell Dina, another young up-and-coming band in Oklahoma City. And some of you might be familiar with Jenny LeBeau, a longtime artist out of Tulsa who's been in the business for over 20 years. She did the festival circuit, used to be with a band called Glass House. And so, so those are some of the Oklahoma artists. Also along with them is Brian Grell Jazz Company, and he is a UCO professor, and he's going to do an ensemble performance with one of his ensemble groups out of UCO. So we've really got some great Oklahoma artists, as well as some national artists. We have Kalu and the Electric Joint is a band that I actually saw open up for an act at the Jones Assembly, and they just killed it. And I reached out to them, and they're excited about the performance. And then we've got Catfish Seminar out of Nashville, Tennessee, and an artist that, ironically, I discovered during this COVID-19. I was listening to a Spotify playlist, and there was this Irish artist named Uli. And I thought, I'm just going to reach out to him. And sure enough, he was excited, and he's part of the festival. So that kind of rounds up the lineup for the festival. It's just 9 artists. Each one is going to play 3 original songs. So it's going to be really good.
So, Doc, it's such an interesting concept, but it's kind of like this kind of all throughout. People are becoming more creative, videos at home and live concerts and little miniature shows and festivals.
Where exactly are you drawing your inspiration from when you came up with the idea?
Exactly.
Well, I draw my inspiration from a couple of places. Boredom, honestly, that's one of them. I'm not one to sit around and watch TV and all that, so I have to stay active. And another one is just a passion for music. I am not a musical artist myself, but I have a deep appreciation for those that are. And so it was just time, as an educator professionally, I was continuing doing my job, but it wasn't the same time constraints that I had before. So some of it was just having the time, the passion for music, and just the willingness to kind of do the legwork. It was pretty much just me on my own. I've got some people, with video aspects of it, but those are really my inspiration, honestly.
So as far as the feel of the show, we've got a lot of people doing Skype calls and that sort of stuff. So it's a lot of people in their living room in their underwear. What kind of feel are we going for the event? Is it just kind of come as you are, or?
And even still structurally, how is it put together? Most music festivals, stage 1, stage 2, at this time, that time. What's the scheduling? Yeah. How do you piece it all together from beginning to end?
Glad you asked. I actually had a concept that I wanted to give back to frontline workers during the COVID-19, nurses, firefighters, police officers. So we're going to start out with the first band, and I'm going to introduce them and kind of give them the format. I'm going to have a virtual tip jar, so if people want to contribute to the bands. And then I'm also going to have these critical care workers. They're actually going to introduce each band. I even have a special guest. I don't want to tell who it is yet, but someone big in Oklahoma City that's going to announce one of the bands. So that was my way of recognizing the people that are on the front line, doing things that a lot of us don't want to do, but are critical and are extremely valuable. So it's going to kick off with me just introducing the first band, which happens to be Brian Gorell and his jazz company, and they're going to perform their 3 songs, and then it's going to go into the next introduction by a critical care worker. The whole thing is going to last approximately about an hour and 45 minutes. Each performer is going to play, 10 to 12 minutes. It's a 3-song set. So, yeah, that's how it's going to go off.
Well, we appreciate you calling us local celebrities. And if you want to go ahead and announce that we're the ones that you were talking about introducing the band, you can do that.
Okay, I don't want to deflate your balloon.
Right.
And you're on deck circle for sure, for certain. And if something falls through, I would definitely kind of keep you guys in mind.
We'll bat DH if need be. If the sky falls out and you need 2 moderately successful podcasters.
We were.
Listen, I put your names to it. It'll just go viral. I don't know if I can handle all that foot traffic.
Well, I don't think I'm ready for that yet. I don't think I'm ready.
Yeah.
We were actually, one of us was slated to be a guest judge at the Watauga Cheese Festival this year, and that got canceled on us. So we're kind of saddened.
And I was going to be a celebrity handler at the Horror Pop Con, and it's not 2020 is. I don't know. I think we're just going to change. If I didn't think the term shit show was taken already, we'd probably just change the name to the shit show.
It sounds like you guys need a big hug, honestly.
We'll take it.
Yeah. Well, but after this is all over. Yeah.
So, Doc, what is the best way for people? Obviously, Facebook is going to be the number one, but how do people get in the know on the Human Together Music Fest, as well as your podcast and ways to contact you and be a part of that?
Sure, perfect. Great question. Some of you may be unfamiliar with some of these artists. So what I've actually done is I've interviewed everyone via Zoom, and I kicked that off last Tuesday, and that's going to be every day I'm featuring a different artist. Today, Saturday the 16th, I actually am posting the interview with Uli, the artist out of Dublin, Ireland, and I have links to their music, links to some of their previous performances. So it gives the listener a chance to, by the time the festival hits, they know who Uli is. They're familiar with Steven Selwan. They're familiar with Don't Tell Dina. So I've done those, and you can find those right now on the YouTube channel, which I mentioned before is the Human Together podcast. And then on the Facebook, it is on facebook.com, Human Together Show. Yeah, Human Together Show. So there's a lot leading up to that to get familiar with the artist. And then it's going to launch as a live event. Like I said before, May 22nd, 7 p.m. online. So to me, I chose that date because I thought it'd be a good kickoff to the Memorial Day weekend. So you can sit back with some frosty beverages and enjoy the show.
So I know Facebook is the most popular way to go live, but a lot of other platforms are doing live as well. Will you be simulcasting on Instagram or YouTube, or is it going to be primarily Facebook where we can find you?
If I was smart enough, it probably would be on those. Okay. And if I was technically savvy, right now it's those. If someone wants to reach out to me and lend their efforts, I'm not opposed to that because we still haven't launched it yet. So that's been a new learning curve for me. And again, I've really relied on Mortimer Creative being the technical end of this and launching all that. So that's been kind of a learning curve to me, but I'm open to ideas about that as well.
Well, Dr. Jason Floyd, not to be confused with your alter ego, Jacob. Everyone has a twin. We appreciate you so much coming on the show and being willing to take the time, especially on sometimes short notice, sometimes communication breakdowns, but we really appreciate what you have going on. And we'd love to, man, when the smoke clears, we'd love to pick your brain once again.
That'd be great. And one thing, and sorry I cut you off there. You kind of mention my podcast. That's wrapping up season 3 of the Human Together podcast, and that is about human interest stories. And like I just wrapped up one with Autism Oklahoma, and I'm going to finalize the season with a 2-part series with my childhood hero, J.J. Arms.
Oh, wow.
If you're unfamiliar with who this is, stay tuned for that Human Together podcast.
Absolutely. And we can find you on Spotify, iTunes. Where's the best place to get your podcast?
Yes. Spotify, Apple, all of them. I think if you just Google it, I'm on all of them. Stitcher, awesome. Overcast, it's on all of them.
Awesome. Well, I think podcasters right now have an opportunity to shine when there's not a whole hell of a lot going on, unless you're in tourism. You're pretty much just begging for guests and scraps. But we appreciate you, again, lending your time, and always a pleasure talking to you, Doc Floyd. We appreciate it.
Thanks you, gentlemen.
Absolutely. I just, especially right now, I like this concept. I mean, it makes sense.
I'm fond of when people... I'm fond of seeing when people run into a situation where they have idle hands, instead of just turning on Netflix and rotting their brains for the next, they're actually doing things.
Right. And these artists are no slouch. This is the real deal. I mean, when you put your mind to something, it's amazing what you can accomplish. So yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. Again, it is coming up Friday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can find it. Just go to his Facebook page, or go to his podcast Facebook page, which is Human Together Show on Facebook.
Absolutely.
And it's got links to everything else. It's got links to the Music Fest. It's got links to his
podcast,
YouTube, his podcast. So go check it out.
Definitely. Podcasts are not gone, folks. Just like I said, if you're in the travel and tourism department right now,
I get where you're going, but at the same time, there's a lot of things happening. I've been out and about and done a few things, and I feel like more and more is opening up. So I think we got a lot of stuff lined up. I think as far as festivals go, live in-person festivals, these all seem to be being canceled. So I don't expect to see any of those anytime soon. I mean, the Rush Springs Watermelon Festival, which is still 3-4 months out,
right? Canceled.
The Watauga Cheese Festival, we already talked about.
It's September.
Canceled.
I've said it. You know, we were talking about this before we got on here. It looks as though everything is basically, everything from the Batman movie to the Rattlesnake Festival has been pushed to next year.
Yeah, but again, we have some tricks up our sleeves. We have some activities that we are going to highlight over the next few weeks. And I'm excited. I'm excited for the summer, and I hope you are as well.
That's right. Well, we'll keep it coming. It may be at a trickle.
It may be, but this has been the Only in OK Show. I am Harley.
I'm Brett.
And we're out of here.
Peace. But listen to my dulcet tones. Hi. Hello, welcome to the show. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hello and welcome to the show.
Whoa. Hello and welcome to the show. It's been over 2 months since I've been on a microphone. Can't you tell? Of course you can. Welcome to the show. And welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Hi. And hello. And welcome to the show.
Okay, let's go.
You remember when I did my first ad?
Yes. Let's roll. 3, 2, 1.
Bar S hot dogs, $2.99 a pound.
3, 2, 1. And welcome to the show.
Sausage, $3.99 a pound.
3, 2, 1. And welcome to the Only in OK Show.
Milk,
I am Harley.
$2.99 a gallon.
3, 2, 1. Yep. We have people starving in the living room.
Do you know that gas? Have you noticed gas has gone up, but diesel's gone down?
3.
You know why diesel's gone down?
3, 2.
Stop. Do you know why Diesel?
Please
I know.
record?
Stop. Dude, it's been 2 months.
It hasn't been 2 months.
Since we've recorded. Yes, it has. Right before, look and see. March, I think last part of March.
April 13th.
That was, you released it on 13th, but when did we record it?
Probably April.
The last of March.
No, let's go. Come on, 3, 2, 1.
And welcome to the show. Yes, we're back. And we're badder than ever. I was thinking maybe we could play the Back in Black theme, but we can't afford it. So we had an interesting conversation today. I am Brett. I am kidding. No, we're going to start over.
Okay, let's roll.
Okay.
Fast.
3, 2, 1.